starting October's calendar art general project by taking an old calendar and preparing the pages, making them a bit stronger and thicker by adding gesso. And I've tinted the gesso with some blue paint, applying it with a palette knife. And now I'm going to use some dilutions, some yellow dilutions ink sprays with some stencils. I made this the next stencil using my Cameo and Mylar. It's like a plastic, makes a stronger stencil. Just getting some acrylic paints. I'm going to do some more stenciling of these. These are golden acrylics, fluid acrylics. They're really highly pigmented, really nice paints. Bright colours and some heavy body Liquitex. I wanted a lighter blue, so just using some more stencils that I made on my Cameo. I made them with Mylar, not acetate, which is what some people use. I read that Mylar was better. Just adding some paint to the outside of the page and blocking the top off. That's where the word October will go. Now I'm using some Bombay ink. I actually didn't record the bit before. That's a bamboo fountain pen, ink pen. My camera wasn't recording when I sketched the Gothic Arch in pencil. I had a picture of one and I just sketched it using guidelines and a ruler. Now I'm going over my sketch marks with India ink and my bamboo pen, ink pen, which just makes a really nice line. It's a very uneven line, but I like that. As it's for October, I thought I'd have a Gothic theme. That's why I used a Gothic Arch. Trying to find some pencils, some nice colours to colour it in with. I think I also use water-soluble crayons, some Caran d'Ache Neo Colour 2, and that's a Derwent Graphitint, which is a coloured pencil with graphite in it. That's a Neo Colour 2 in Payne's Grey. Just activating it with water. I didn't activate any of the others, I don't think, maybe one or two. That's Inktense pencils, and that's a watercolour pencil. I think I activated that one and maybe this one. So now I'm just using water-soluble crayon. I did activate some more. Some white water-soluble crayon to add some highlights and to cover up the background a bit more. Wanted to add a bit more colour to the background, so I used some pink and yellow in the background. And now I'm just using more pencils and crayons. Just building up the colour, the texture, the highlights and the shadows. So anything that comes forward, I've made it lighter, and anything that goes backwards, I've made it darker, and sort of suggested that the light's coming from the left-hand side, so there are shadows in the corners there on the left, deeper shadows. So I decided to add some paper cut keys. I cut these on my Cameo, and I want them to be dimensional and slightly glossy, so I'm adding some glossy accents, which is like an acrylic medium, which makes them shiny. So applying it carefully on a non-stick mat. It's a bit like glue, but it gives a raised edge. a very shiny raised edge to whatever you apply it to. And it takes quite a long time to dry as well. So I printed out this font. The font's called Gothic Punk. I got it from Dafont, D-A-F-O-N-T, dafont.com. And these are some more cuts from on my Cameo. This was a Halloween frame which I cut up, divided up in the Cameo software, and made it the right size. I decided to add parts of it to my art journal page using some matte gel, which is normally used for painting, but a lot of people use it for collage because it's a really good glue and it gives a matte finish which you cannot see. It does, you wouldn't know it was there, and that's brilliant. Now just adding the words October, which I cut out. I printed it on print paper, coloured it in a bit, and cut it out by hand. Just going around the edges with black India ink.